give the Colts the 21-18 victory as the Colts outscore the Panthers 11-3 in the fourth quarter. For the invested fan, Colts were 3-point favorites, so we push right there. As for the total, this one came in over the 33, which is a rarity. The under 14-3 in the first 17 preseason games. For instant reaction in the wake of Sunday's lone preseason kick, we welcome in CBS Sports NFL analyst Ryan Wilson. Ryan, the Colts topped the Panthers 21-18 on an Eddie Pinheiro chip shot. Results aside, let's dig into what we learned today, starting with Colts QB Jacob Eason, 15-21, a $183, no TDs, no INTs. Ryan, as the Colts try and patch that hole at quarterback until the return of Carson Wentz, did Eason do enough Sunday to keep the Colts brass from shopping around maybe on Monday morning?
That's an interesting way of putting it, Joe, because during the telecast, the owner, Jim Irsay, talked exactly about that. And it seems like the team feels pretty comfortable with both the young quarterbacks, Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger, who we'll talk about in a second. If Carson Wentz isn't ready in week 1 or week 2, and we still don't know when that timetable is going to play itself out with Carson Wentz's return. But that said, Irsay also left open the possibility of potentially trading for a veteran if he felt like that's what the GM and the head coach, Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, wanted to do. So what happened with Jacob Eason in this start? You know, he looked pretty good. When he came out of Washington last year, I thought maybe he should have returned to college. No preseason last year, so we haven't seen him play at all. He made some great throws. We saw the touch throw there. He has a rocket arm. Where he struggled a little bit was on the touch throws, on the short and intermediate passes, and that's just something you learn through experience. Again, he's a young, inexperienced quarterback. Saw a lot of good things from him physically. He's not a mobile guy like Sam Ehlinger, but he did show off the arm strength. He made a lot of good decisions, had the strip sack, which wasn't his fault. We saw a clip of that. Didn't take any big hits or unnecessary hits, and didn't force the ball in tight spaces. Again, against a second-string defense, because the Panthers didn't play a lot of their starters on defense, we saw a lot of good things, and I think that's something you can build on going forward in the next 2 weeks in preseason. So Jim Irsay going with the, we're not making any calls right now, but we do have Nick Foles' information type public line. Eason hasn't necessarily blown the doors off of the thing throughout camp. Did show some flashes here, as you mentioned, on Sunday. He's actually been mediocre enough in practice to split some first-team reps with 6th-round Texas product Sam Ehlinger. We know it's an uphill battle for those late-round selections, but Ehlinger composed in that final drive that spanned 16 plays in 6+ minutes, leading to that game-winning field goal. What kind of favor did Ehlinger build today with some solid situational football, not just within the franchise, but with all of the markets that do develop throughout the season here at the quarterback position? Yeah, you hit on it there, Joe, because Ehlinger has actually been flashing during training camp. And last week especially, he turned some heads, at least nationally, in terms of people taking paying attention to the things he was able to do. Because you mentioned 6th-round rookie, not a lot of expectations. You expect Jacob Eason's last year 4th-round pick to perhaps be further advanced. And here's what happened. Ehlinger came in the first 2 series. He looked a little discombobulated. Had an interception, not a great throw in the first series. Almost threw another interception on the second series as he was hit. And then he sort of got it together. And the difference between him, his game, and what Jacob Eason provides is that Ehlinger doesn't have quite the arm strength. His arm is certainly good enough, but he is insanely mobile and gives you that extra ability. We saw him get outside the pocket a few times, make some good decisions with the ball, whether to run it or to throw it, and then he made a lot of good decisions on those final drives that we saw in the fourth quarter that made you say, okay, he's back in the conversation, because I think those first 2 drives Ehlinger took over in the third quarter. It made you think, okay, maybe Eason's ahead now. But I think they come out neck and neck. 2 strong showings by 2 young quarterbacks who may potentially end up being one of the starters if Carson Wentz isn't ready to go in week 1. There's still a lot left to be determined, but I think the promising news is that you have choices. You don't necessarily have to go outside the organization. And as Jim Irsay mentioned, and as I just mentioned a second ago, they seem comfortable with what they have now. So, again, no sort of head-scratching red flag moments by either quarterback. You move forward and get ready for the next 2 preseason games. It will be interesting to see how it all plays out in Indy. Ryan, dealer's choice here. Anyone jump off the film at you this afternoon on either side of this matchup, good, bad, or otherwise? What do we spot shadowing on Monday mornings in meetings? Here's what it is, Joe, and I sent you a quick text about this because I couldn't believe it. Early in the third quarter, Ben LeMay, the Colts running back, treaded some poor, hapless Carolina Panthers defensive back, got a first down, quickly stood up and flexed. You're going to see it here, and enjoyed the moment because that's what you do when you're playing sports. And he got flagged. What did he get flagged for, you might ask? Who knows? Oh, wait, there's a new taunting penalty in which the officials can now insert themselves and to everyone's annoyance, including the viewers, who now have to wait for us to tell us about this nonsense. I don't know what we're doing. No one asked for this. This is answers to questions no one cared about to start with. You're wasting our time. This is a football game. Let them enjoy it. But this is going to be a precursor of things to come, I feel like, Joe, and that just makes me angry. I wish I could throw a flag on the flag that they throw on taunting.
I would throw a flag with you as well, a hat if I didn't have a flag. I'd throw something because we just can't have it. Like you said, not sure what we're solving here with those types of penalties, but oftentimes we've seen rules implemented or planned to be implemented that get ratcheted up in the preseason and perhaps dialed back when the regular season rolls around. One can only hope, and we hope we'll be breaking it all down with our guy, Ryan Wilson. Thank you, Ryan. Don't forget, plenty more Ryan Wilson to be had on the Pick Six podcast. He and our team of expert analysts break down all the latest news and notes breaking across the NFL. There's no better time to get involved than right now. Prep yourself for kick with the Pick Six pod.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.